everyone, today we're going to talk about how to create your pendants for your desired keychains or necklaces. Now, the last few classes you have been creating beads of various sizes, some bigger, some smaller. Okay, it was up to you to choose what size you wanted to be. Once you have your sizes laid out, you're going to be able to determine what size your amulet or pendant can be. Now remember, we came up with pendant designs a couple classes back where, I'm getting clay on my stuff, where they had symbols or images that were meaningful for us. Miss Thomas chose the ornament design because her and her husband met at Christmas time, fall because she was born in the fall, and a paint palette carved into a triangle design because, well, I'm a painter. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how to make your pendant using your clay, a wooden rolling pin, and then 2 wooden measuring sticks. Now again, if you have a big bead, okay, big beads, you are going to be making a larger pendant. If you have smaller ones, and the majority of mine are smaller, you will be making a smaller pendant. All right, so let's put our beads to the side. Let's start with some clay. You're going to take a little bit of clay in your hands, and again, my beads are smaller, so my pendant will be smaller. And you're going to start to pinch it between your palm and your fingers, kind of flattening it out. Not super flat, but just a little flat, so you're not working with a giant lump of clay. Place it in between your 2 wooden measuring sticks, and again, these measuring sticks help us determine how thick our clay slab will be, and a slab is a rolled piece of clay, all right, free of air bubbles. So I've got my piece of clay in between my 2 wooden measuring sticks, 1 on either side. I have my wooden rolling pin, and I'm going to start right in the middle of the clay with both palms touching the rolling pin, and I'm going to start to roll. Okay, before it gets too long, I am going to turn it, slide my fingers underneath of it, maybe. Normally, if you're working on a tarp, it's a little bit easier. Miss Thomas doesn't have a tarp right here, so it's a little bit more difficult. Okay, flipped it over, and roll it again. Again, if you're working with a tarp, it's much easier to pull up, or a canvas. Miss Thomas is working with her demo table, so she doesn't have those items here. All right, smudge the extra clay and water away. Now, before I forget and start carving out my pendant, I'm going to do one last roll. And I'm noticing an air bubble, okay? An air bubble, it really does look like a bubble under the surface of the clay. What you need to do for an air bubble is poke the holes in the air bubble, smooch away with your finger, and then do 1 roll again, okay? And you're gonna do this for both sides of your clay just to make sure there are no loose air bubbles. Remember, air bubbles, trapped air explodes in the kiln, all right, since it has nowhere to go but out, so it makes your clay piece explode. All right, I'm gonna do 1 more. Any cracks, don't forget, you can use a damp sponge and smooth out your cracks if need be. Big cracks like this will need filler clay in there, a little bit of slip and water to help fill in your filler crack. All right, now I'm ready to start carving out my pendant design. Now I'm going to choose, for my example, I am going to work with my fall design. I really like that rectangular shape. With your paper clips, you are going to lightly draw, not dig, but draw like you would with a pencil on your slab of clay. My fall design is a rectangle, so I'm going to work with a rectangular design. My beads are smaller, so I want my pendant smaller. Okay. Leaving a space for the hole, leaving a space for the hole, the loop at the top. Now say I don't like that anymore. Because I've only scratched the surface and I haven't cut, I can smooth that out and try it again. I want it bigger this time. Bigger area for yarn or thread to stick through. That's where I want my hole to go. Okay, I like that design. I am going to cut it out. Sticking my paper clip all the way through this time. Okay, off to the side. Now using a little bit of water on my finger, I am gonna smooth out rough edges. Again, making sure to lift here and there. Again, you all are working with a tarp, so it will be a little bit easier to have access to. And now I'm smoothing out these edges of the clay. That way nothing is going to cut me. No sharp clay as it dries will cut me. Okay, because I am smoothing them away. Going to poke the hole that I want for my yarn at the top of my pendant. Now there's different ways to do this. I like working with a paper clip for it, but you can always poke it with a straw, okay, to help you get a more perfect circle. Now that you're done, you're going to again lightly, just like before, you're going to now lightly draw in your meaningful design. Mine is a fall leaf because Miss Thomas is born in the fall. I messed up that part of the leaf. I'm gonna go back in, clean it up. Now remember, just like before the sides, you're gonna wanna scrape away those crumbly pieces. Use your paper clips to help you pick them up. We don't want any sharp edges to accidentally cut us in the drying process and painting process. And over. And write your name on the back with your paper clip. There we go. Then please put this inside your plastic bag to where it is safe and able to dry over the next 48 to 72 hours. Okay, there we go, guys. All done.